me start recording. Good. Thanks for reminding me, Ahan. Yeah. So we are looking at the Italian game standard. This is the starting position of the Italian game. Main thing, what we call it as bishop b4, knight c3, stopping the check. And though white has got a very beautiful center, e4 and d4, but black is to play here, not white. And black is going to can take the e4 pawn, and white is offering that e4 pawn. Okay, so let us see what happens. Knight takes e4, and white cannot, I mean, the knight is pinned, right? So, and white does not want to go and do any kind of a defensive thing. Rather than that, white is capitalizing on his advantage in development. So he's castling. So next thing, he wants to attack down the e file. Okay, but black thinks that he has got one extra pawn. He thinks that he will be able to exchange off and then retain the pawn and still defend his king. Whether he can or not, that is the big question. Okay, there are so many lines, hundreds of lines are there in this side variations, but the main variation is black goes, the most theoretical line is black takes this knight, exchanges this knight. White has got no option other than taking it with the b pawn, and then see, this is the most greediest line you can say, or the most logical also you can say, right? I mean, why when a pawn, another pawn is being offered, why and not? And after taking that pawn, I will be attacking the white rook. Okay, further again, which he will have to defend it. White will have to defend it. So, and that will give another time for black to then play d5. The moment black plays d5 in this game, then he will not have much of a problem. Okay, so that is what is idea. What yeah, Rishita, go ahead with your query if you have some query. So yeah, so the whole point is, I think at this point of time, black is just one move away from not just equalizing, but if he equalizes, in fact, he will become much better, because the moment he plays d5, he will be equalized, plus he will be actually 2 pawns ahead. And then even if he gives back 1 pawn, yeah, we are just discussing this Italian game, Rishita. The opening that we started last week. Okay, so yeah, so and black is claiming that this is the time. Now white will defend the rook, and after that black will play d5, and then next move he will castle or whatever, right? So that is the plan. But look at what happens, or what is possible. Okay, so this is what Greco discovered. Okay, he was a very innovative player. He was always looking to attack in different ways to attack. So what he said is that, oh, I am ready to give up my rook, and instead I'm going to focus on attacking the king. Okay, so queen b3 is the move that he discovered. Okay, so what is the thing? Let us see what happens. So first, let us see what happens if black simply takes the rook. Bishop takes the rook, which is on offer, right? Black is so much material ahead. Is there really so much such kind of an attack? So we'll see. So there are so many other sidelines, but we'll see. So the main attack, we will see what Greco discovered. He discovered is, okay, I have given up my rook, queen side rook, but remember, not king side rook, queen side rook. King side rook is ready to come on the e file, and he says, okay, now in return for the rook, I get an attack. And how I get it? Bishop takes f7 check. Okay, is the first thing. So king has to move, king to f8, then bishop to g5, attacking the queen. Okay, can you see any move for black? There is actually only one move. It is all forced. There is no other move for the queen to defend. So knight to e7. Let me see if you are saying something. Yeah, knight to e7, correct. So knight to e7 is the only move. On knight to e7, now see, white can capture the other bishop. Okay, but that way, if you does, does it, that will not continue the attack, because the rook would have gone to a1 square from where it is not attacking anything, right? It would have just taken back the material. But look at how the inventive imagination of Greco. So he said that I am not interested in taking back the bishop. I am interested in checkmating the black king. Okay. So knight to e5. No, bishop to e6. Black simply will take the pawn. The d7 pawn is there. White will take it. Okay. So no, bishop to a3 cannot. Right now, is the bishop is at g5. So knight to e5. Look at this first. Okay, excellent attacking move. Now what white is threatening is, white is threatening to put, next move is threatening to put his bishop on g6. Okay, and then there is a double mate threat, because the queen can come to f7 with the support of e5 knight as well as g6 bishop. That is the plan. Okay, and it is very difficult to support both. There is only one way. So let us see what happens. So this is what is the plan. So what black, meanwhile, what he believes that I will continue to take this one more pawn, and then my bishop is now coming into play. Now next time the knight moves or something, or I am threatening the knight, or if not, then also if the knight moves, then I will bishop will come to f6 and I will defend. That is what is black's idea. Okay. So yeah, hold on, let us see. Okay, so we'll see this now. First let us see what happens. So white plays bishop to g6. Okay, he's saying, okay, take my knight. I don't care, I'm threatening checkmate on f7. Okay, so first of all, there is no other way to prevent the checkmate other than blocking the queen's access to the f7 square. So d5 has to be played, block the queen's access. Okay, otherwise there is checkmate. So now the queen comes to f3 and gives a check. Again, going to next move, it is going to threaten the checkmate. But there is only one move, the bishop to f5, because see, there is, you have to block the queen's check. Otherwise, if king moves, then next move it will become checkmate. So you cannot move the king. So blocking, and blocking is only possible with bishop to f5. Knight to f5, you do it. Yeah, you can block it, but then the black's queen will be lost for free, right? So that is not an option. So bishop to f5 is the only move really. Now at this point of time, white does not take it with the queen. Remember, that will be a blunder, because then knight will take it the queen, and then it will be a queen exchange, right? So white wants to take full advantage of the fact that the black knight on e7 is pinned. So, but at the same time, white knows that white's own e5 knight is also under attack, but he doesn't go to defend it. Okay, so that is what, look at it. So bishop takes f5. Now black grabs this opportunity, takes the knight on e5. Now again, black is just one move away from defending his position. If the black is able to put his bishop on f6, right, at this point of time, then white will not be able to checkmate. That's very simple. Just one move away. If white puts bishop f6, finish. The attack is finished. But what is the thing? Bishop to e6 check. Okay. So white puts his white bishop in another strong position, e6. Okay, now black can put this bishop, but it is too late now. One move too late. If previous move, if he had put it, then it would have been something, but now it is not. So bishop f6. Now can you see the checkmate? Now it is very clear, straight checkmate. Bishop takes f6. Okay, g takes f6, queen takes f6, queen is king e7, and queen f7, checkmate. Right. So you saw Yeah, easy, and I'll come to that. Yeah, I know what you're talking about is the Keresis move. I will come to that. So that is a move that was discovered. But first, we have to understand the classics. So this is what was the classic Greco analysis from 400 years ago. Okay, 1620. You can say that this is what was the he discovered it at that point of time. Okay, so we will see what if black does not capture. There are so many variations we'll see in this game. But first of all, you have to really understand this and realize the beauty of this one, right? This beauty of the checkmate, where white has sacrificed so much material, but he doesn't really give any chance for black and finishes him off, right? So let us see one by one. Okay, so I will give you a chance. First I will show you what are was possible, and then I will show you. So there was a point when uh, bishop takes f7, king f8, bishop to g5, knight e7, knight e5. Okay, at this point of time we'll first look at what was the possibility. Then I will ask you, after I shown you three possibilities, then I will ask you whether you still have further doubts. Okay, at this point of time black played bishop to d4, bishop takes d4. if instead if instead he had tried to open his other bishop, c8 bishop, by playing d6. d6 is a decent move because opens up the pawn and opens up the scope for the bishop, right? But then in this case, what would have happened is, again, same thing, bishop g6. Now, how will you do? Uh, Even if you take the knight, doesn't matter. Again, the checkmate is there on f7. And if you take the bishop, then also it doesn't help because there is a checkmate on f7. So can you see the d6 move would not have helped? Bishop e8. No. Bishop e8 means queen will take it. Bishop g8, rook will take the bishop. Yeah. It is not. So just look at this position. So here, if what we are saying is, if okay, instead of bishop taking on d4, if black had played d6, then white would have played bishop to g6. This is very important. Don't think that bishop e8 and bishop g8 will work. Huh? I think it is a fallacy, because then after black blocks with the d5, then you will that bishop would be lost. Actually, it will not be. You will not be able to come to a strong position. So don't think that you can make any moves. You have to be very careful. So yeah, so after d6, again bishop takes g6. So not takes, bishop moves to g6, threatens the checkmate. There is no other move other than playing d5, and the difference between the previous one and now is that black bishop was earlier at d4 and coming back to the rescue. Now that is also not possible. So black will end up in even worse position. After playing d5, again queen will go to f3 check, bishop will come to f5, white bishop will take on f5, and after that next move he will place the bishop on e6, and there is no this possible for that defense of black bishop coming to f6 is also not going to be possible. So this does not help. Okay, let us look at another possibility. Let us look at uh, yeah, after queen b3, the whole point of taking it with the taking the rook itself was wrong. Actually, you will find that. Okay, and as Izian is pointing out, I will talk about that more. But yeah, I will talk about this one. But first, let us understand this. So there is another chance. And black can even try bishop takes d4, but that also does not help, because bishop takes d4 also, it will go to, again bishop will take f7, king will take it. Then again we can try that out. There is one more possibility that is there, even slightly better one, but uh, black at this point of time does not want to allow the sacrifice of the or rather the threat against the f7 pawn. So at this point of time, black is to play. He does not take the rook. Okay, he's already 2 pawns up. He does not take the rook. Instead, he says, I will play d5. Okay, uh, block your thing. Then, and why does he say this is, uh, he will say, okay, you take the pawn, then I will castle at this point of time. Okay, but even if this happens, then white has got this line, bishop takes f7, check, rook. Why is rook not taking? Okay, I think we will have to, we will see this. Yeah, knight will come to g5. Okay, we'll see this. There are so many variations are there in this. And after this, white will take the bishop, black rook will take the f7, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not necessarily agreeing with what is given here. We will have to play this out, but they claim that even this position is white is better. Okay, the so let us now start going back and look at your doubts. One move, first of all, I will explain is that uh, there is a move that that Izian was talking about, is that after rook bishop takes a1, the strongest move for white has been found to be bishop to a3. This white bishop goes to a3 and prevents the castling of the black king, and then catches the king in the middle. The rest of the attack plays almost similarly, but bishop goes to a3 instead of g5 and then prevents the castling. That is one move. We will see some games along that line. Okay, so but I think it is important that, I think, first is to get the general ideas of attack. You have to get it, and then specifics you have to delve into the what happens if this move, that move, etc. But first you have to get this idea of bishop c4, queen b3, attacking f7, sacrificing the thing, and then knight jumping to g5, queen coming back to f3, threatening mate on f7. This kind of idea first you have to get it. Okay, now I'm opening up for questions. Who wants to ask the first? Who wanted to? Yeah, you want to discuss any specific changes here or variations? Let me know. Well, I'll quickly go back. E4, E5, NF3, NC6, BC4, BC5, C3, NF6. Up to here we should not vary because those will lead to different openings itself. So we are sticking to the Italian opening and a specific attack there. So there, hence we should do this also. D4, E takes D4, C takes D4, bishop B4 check. Now also I'm saying bishop D2 variation will not get into, that's a different thing. Knight C3, and then knight takes e4. This is the starting position. From this we said that white does best for him is to castle, and then there are so many options that are there, most popular option being this. Okay, Madhura, so what is your doubt in the first variation with black does not capture the bishop? Where does that mean? Okay, let us see, you let me know when and then you stop. Okay, so what we went is knight takes c3, b pawn takes c3, bishop takes c3, and then queen b3, queen b3. We said first move was bishop takes the rook, the greediest line first, we'll see it. Then bishop f7, king f8 is forced, bishop g5, knight e7 is forced, knight e5. Okay, so far we have still not come to what you were asking, I believe, right, Madhura? At this point of time, bishop d4, and then white moves the bishop to g6, threatening the checkmate on f7. Is it here? No. Okay, so d5. Here the only option was d5. Fine, let us look at it. Queen f3, check. Only option is bishop to f5, no other move. No, you can, so Shrusti, if you have on Lichess, if you have logged in, it doesn't really make a difference, but you can leave, for example, or you can pause, and then at 9:30 or whenever the class is finished, then you can go and join back. No problem, don't worry about it. Okay, fine. Okay, so Madhura, so here after this also, bishop, was your question for white or black? At this position, this is the position where bishop takes bishop. Madhura, so white takes bishop here. Okay, g takes bishop. Okay, okay, fine. Here, okay, after this, okay. So bishop has taken on e5, then, okay, all right. So your question is, white takes bishop. Okay, what if black does not take the bishop? Okay, okay. So you suggest a move for black. So black is to play. Tell me, if he does not take it with the pawn, then what else do you think black can do? Queen d6. Okay, let us see. Queen d6. If queen d6 at this point of time, then bishop simply comes to e5, discovered check, and takes the queen. Queen e8. If queen e8, then bishop to e5, discovered check. King cannot move anywhere. Knight will have to come to f5. Queen takes f5. Another piece gone, and then king will have to come to e7. King will have to come to e7, right? Then bishop takes g7. Okay, if you take a random move like let us say a6, you make it fine. So the threat is bishop to e5, not even bishop to e5, bishop to g5. The threat is bishop to g5. Now discovered check. Now what will you do? Bishop to g5, discovered check. King has got only one move. If king goes to e8, then there is a checkmate on f7. If knight blocks it, anyway at the cost of just losing it, but then queen will be gone. Knight will also be gone. So this is the dilemma, right? There is not much of an option apart from g takes f6. So yeah, so that is what. Okay, let me go back. Is there anybody? Yeah, absolutely lost. Yes, black is absolutely lost here. There is no fourth checkmate is coming. Yeah, I mean, he can give up the queen, maybe he can give up the knight, and then he can play with two rooks against white's queen, rook, and a bishop. That way he can play, but that is a lost game anyway, right? That is a completely lost game with king still in the middle. So yeah, so that is what it is. At this point of time, it is completely lost. So if you were to look at improvements for black, then it goes all the way to really black should not accept this rook. On queen b3, there is a move that he should do is he should not accept it. Okay. So the or even earlier he can play some other moves, etc. But after you take the rook, then it is the attack is so strong that no, not really. Black has so many options actually. In fact, I didn't get time to talk about my handout, but see, this is a handout. I think I will be sending it. And yeah, see, if you see here, 8th bishop to c3 is the move that I'm talking about here. But there are options even before that. Okay, so here, knight takes e4. Instead of that, there is another option. Is black can play d5 on the 7th move itself. So all of this I'm giving you in the handout. You should do this. It takes a lot of time to go through. Okay, so I will not be able to cover it in the lecture. Only the key parts I'm covering. but entire everything is I'm giving you as a handout. What is possible at which move, 10th move, something here. Yeah, we saw the bishop takes a1. There is also a 10th move d5 that I was discussing. There was also a 10th move d6, right? So all kind of what happens where, etc. I've given as part of this handout. The main option that is there is uh, yeah, bishop takes c3. That is another option instead of knight takes c3. See, we saw about you saw always saw about knight taking the pawn and then bishop coming, but there is a yeah, in this position, this is position after castles. What we saw, the main line with Greco analysis was knight takes c3, right? But you can try a somewhat complicate, you can do it by, instead of knight taking it, bishop taking c3 and knight keeping it on e4, and then there are some more complications that arise. So it is always yeah, similar but still difference, because what gets captured, etc., makes a very big difference. So the games you will find that are there, white is still attacking strongly, but the type of attack and what kind of a mate or this happens, that will be very different. Okay, so because the knight being there, so there are, so you go through this thing, I will send it tonight. You go through this, and then it will take you a good time, huh? I mean, going through this entire thing and going back and forth, each move, what is the thing, etc. I will also share the pgn file so that it is easier on a thing, but ideally you should try to do it on a chessboard so that you will remember it much more. Okay, then I have talked about the fourth queen e7 variation, which is also there, and then d3 variation, which is a quiet variation of the thing, and then finally I have given these four tactical positions. I mean, just to illustrate what kind of tactics happen. So the solutions are also given, but don't look at the solutions and try to solve them here. Yeah, right. In this position, everywhere I think it is white to move and gain, white to play and do something, right? So yeah, so this kind of position, so this is what I think I will give you, and then yeah, so that is the part on Italian opening. So yeah, very very interesting, very thing, I think, very deep opening. I mean, though there are more complicated openings that you will see later on, but this is still, this is complicated enough to learn and to explore all the possibilities. Okay, this is, you should master Italian opening, and you should look at some, I will also give some 10 or 12 games from the past, okay, which all as a pgn file, then you can watch that in the chess viewer. So yeah, so that is that really. Okay, any other questions? Otherwise we are done with the class. I'm going to stop the recording now.